Recent Christian church fires in the Southland have devastated buildings where Black Americans gather to worship. Proclaiming them sanctuaries, a campaign is being organized under the banner Respond with Love to help rebuild. Already, more than 500 people have donated to the cause, raising $50,000. The donors and organizers are acting because of timing. The fires are happening following last month's church massacre in Charleston, South Carolina. The fundraising is happening because this is the month of Ramadan. That's what makes this story particularly compelling. American Muslims are responsible for the entire Respond with Love drive. One of the people in charge is Linda Sarsour. She's the executive director of the Arab American Association of New York, headquartered here in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. I begin my conversation with her asking why. A Muslim organization would invest time, money, effort into rebuilding a Christian church. What do you tell them?
I tell them it's aligned with Islam, and we know historically that our prophet, and we follow in his footsteps, had done this before 500 years ago, and I know that if he was alive today, he would do the same, and we're following in his sunnah.
You know, Linda, you begin hearing about these incidents, as we all did. You hear 1, then you hear 3, then you hear 5, then you hear 8. When do you make the decision, hey, we need to step in, unite with the community, and help?
We're in a very opportune time for American Muslims. This is Ramadan. It's the month of, strengthening your faith with God or your relationship with God. It's about, self-sacrifice. It's also about charity, and we're encouraged to increase our charity during the month of Ramadan. And what better charity than to support another faith community who's not able to spend time in their houses of worship, where they also mention the name of our God, where they love our God, where they embrace our God. So we felt that if there was any charitable cause or urgent cause to give to this Ramadan, it was going to be to give to Black churches in hopes that we can get folks back into their houses of worship, because we understand the importance of religious institutions. Our mosques are central to the American Muslim community here, and I wouldn't know what I don't know what I would do if something similar happened to my own mosque, and where would I go, and would I have to find a new community? So it was very personal for us.
You know, I'm so happy you brought that up, Linda. As a Muslim living in an age when people do not always take the time to read and understand the Quran and the tenets of Islam and the Muslim faith, what has been your biggest challenge? Has it been trying to convince most people Muslims are good, or trying to dispel this rationale that all Muslims are terrorists?
I mean, our biggest challenges has been, mainstream media and the obsession and focus on groups like ISIS and Al-Qaeda as a representation of what Islam is. When American public hears Islam, they always hear it in the context of terrorism or some current event that has happened around the world. You rarely hear Islam and community service, Islam and worship, Islam and community in the same sentence. And this fundraising campaign is one opportunity of many that we've engaged in to say, look, this is how we live our faith out publicly. This is what Islam is. This is the Islam that we follow here in the United States, and the majority of 1.7 billion Muslims follow. So it's not about proving who we are. It's about demonstrating who we are, because what we're doing here is something that our faith calls us to do.
And you speak so much about what we hold fast as Christians, as Catholics. There are so many more comparisons, I think, than disparities. Do you agree?
Oh, absolutely. There's so much similarities between particularly the three Abrahamic faiths that sometimes if I read you an ayah out of the Quran, you might have to think a little bit to determine whether it came out of the Torah or came out of the Bible. And that's how close we are. We in Islam, when we mention Christians and Jews, we talk about them as the people of the book. We believe that we are sisters and brothers, and we believe that we all follow the same God and that we love the same God. So for us, Black Christian churches, Black parishioners are our sisters and brothers in faith, and we are called upon to support our sisters and brothers.
Linda, you live in a very diverse neighborhood. You work in a very diverse neighborhood, which is Bay Ridge. If we look at that as a microcosm of what it's like to coexist with different faiths, are you hopeful? Is there a message there that we all as a nation should embrace?
I think Bay Ridge is an example where we have it's very heavily populated with many churches, you know, Syrian Orthodox, Maronites, Catholics, Lutherans, and Coptics, and we live together. We go to our mosque, everyone goes to their church. I would, of course, will say that nothing's perfect. There are definitely a minority in the Bay Ridge community who still don't understand who the Muslims are and what are they doing in their neighborhood. But and on the general level, I think people are very welcoming of our community, and we've done a lot of interfaith events, open houses at our mosque, and welcoming people just to you know, engage with us. You know, I want people to go home and say, I have a Muslim friend. I met a Muslim woman. I met a Muslim man. My child goes to school with a lot of Muslim children, and that's the kind of relationships we're building here in Bay Ridge. But there's a whole lot of more work to do, even in a place like Bay Ridge. Again, we continue to be fed these images in media, and it makes people skeptical. It makes people suspicious, and it's our job to continue to, you know, reach out to folks and keep our community open, and welcoming to others.
Well, I think your message is beautiful, Linda, and I think you're doing great work in trying to dispel these atrocious, horrific themes that we have attached to Islam, and I really thank you. You've over exceeded your goal. You're now at 50,000, and are you looking for more?
Yeah, we have 8 days left of Ramadan, and we are going to increase our goal to $100,000.
Okay, well, we'll be praying that you do reach that goal and so much more. Thank you so much for joining
Thank you
me.
so
I
much.
sincerely appreciate it.